kitchen, arms lifting up. Microwave dings, heating love up. Small wings stacking, feeling filled
Hello.
up. Let the baseline
It
carry the weight
is
off my
January
chest.
1st, 2026.
Breathing deep,
Happy
gratitude in
New
every
Year
breath.
to
Left
you.
foot, right foot,
Thank
step
you
in
for
my
joining me
best.
today.
Every day's a canvas.
It's got
ain't no
some
progress.
little intro music here. Today's a big day. I'm going to share a lot of awesome stuff with you. We've got monks walking across the United States of America. We've got New Year's resolutions that allow us to connect closer with our loved ones, and we've got brothers and sisters saving lives of people on the bus, the school bus, that is. So, a lot of cool stories I'll be sharing with you today, and I can't wait. I hope everyone is having an absolutely amazing day. And, I hope you welcomed in the new year last night. 2026 is upon us. And if you've been following this channel at all, you know that I've been sharing a lot about goal setting and motivation and what that all means and how a lot of it is misaligned. But we can realign ourselves with some of those things and step forward into our life with a lot more patience and a lot more humility, a lot more, we can have a lot more success if we just take it a little bit easier on ourselves, a lot of us. So hopefully you've been following some of that stuff, but today is time for Lunchtime Lift. This is a show where I go into a few news stories of what's going on in the world, and then at the end I discuss a daily law. We read from the Daily Laws by Robert Greene, and I share a few inspirational words that we can all get behind, we can all understand, and we can all try to take those into today and make today an absolutely amazing day. The purpose of this show is to get calm, get relaxed, look for the positive out there in the world, and step into the rest of our day feeling a little bit better. It's easy to find negative news stories. They're all over the place. There's bad stuff going on all over the world all the time. But today, and on this channel, on this show, we're talking about positive news. We're talking about amazing, inspirational stories out there that don't get enough press. And I think that will help to calm people's nervous systems, allow them to realign, recenter themselves, feel good about life, feel like there's something to look forward to and like we have something good going on in the world. And then from there, more people will be happier, healthier, and better off. That's my opinion, and that's why this show exists. I am so glad you're here today. Thank you for joining me, and let's jump right into it. Quick note, by the way, if you comment on this video right now, today I will not see the comment. Only reason being, I was a little bit scattered before this live video, so I wasn't completely 100% prepared like I like to be. So I have no way of seeing the comments right now. But at the end, I will find a way to see the comments. So if you comment, go ahead and comment. I love the interaction. I love the chat. That way, at the end, I can talk to you. I can look at your chat and I can figure out, or I can, answer your question, or we can discuss whatever you want to discuss. So feel free to still comment, but I won't see it right away. I'll see it at the end of the live video. So let's kick this off with something really, really cool that I found. And I'm here in Charlotte, North Carolina, and this came to my attention that there is actually Buddhist monks doing a peace walk, and they started in Texas, and they're going all the way, I believe, to the East Coast. We don't know their exact path, but what we do know is that they are walking for peace, and they are they're having a big impact. A lot of people are seeing this on social media. They're sharing a few things on social media. People are showing up, giving them gifts, taking pictures with them. People love these Buddhist monks going for this walk. And I think it's absolutely fascinating and really, really cool. And it also kind of inspired me to try to maybe do something similar. Like, what if I walked across the country? Is this something that I could do, right? And maybe I could do it to raise awareness for Lyme disease. For those of you that don't know, I had Lyme disease in 2016. It was really, really hard on me. I was able to heal in an all-natural, holistic way over a long period of time. And now I help other people do exactly that at LymeWars.com, where we use a holistic, natural, herbal protocol to get better. And we've helped helped thousands of people take back their body and feel like themselves again. I can proudly say we've got hundreds of 5-star reviews and lots of results using this exact method. So we're going to continue down that path, and maybe I could go for a walk to like raise awareness for Lyme disease. I'm not sure yet, but this is inspiring me, and I think it's really cool. Let's read a little bit further into it. A group of Buddhist monks is persevering in their walking trek across much of the U.S. to promote peace, even after 2 of its members were injured when a truck hit their escort vehicle. Wow, that's pretty insane. Doesn't give too much details about what happened there, but that's interesting. After starting their walk in Fort Worth, Texas on October 26th, okay, so I'm coming to you right now, January 1st, 2026. This started in October 26, 2025. The group of about 24 monks has made it to Georgia as they continue on a path to Washington, D.C. So they're in Georgia, and apparently they're going up to Washington, D.C., as this post says. And I'm in Charlotte, and I keep hearing that they're going to be coming through Charlotte, so I guess we'll see what happens there. I'm going to keep my eyes peeled and perhaps go see these monks. But the group planned to walk its latest segment through Georgia on Tuesday from the town of Morrow to Decatur on the eastern edge of Atlanta, marking day 66 of the walk. So just imagine walking for 66 days in a row, just going down this path. And why are they doing it? Because they want to promote peace. They want people to be thinking about peace, love, happiness, and this is how they're doing it. This is how they're bringing awareness, and I absolutely love it. I think it's a really positive, cool story. As you can see, there's loads of people lining the street to take pictures with them, to be inspired by their courage and by their sacrifice to bring eyeballs to, or to just bring awareness to the idea of peace, right? They've amassed a huge audience on social media with more than 400,000 followers on Facebook, and they have a dog with them named Aloka. And obviously this is having even like somewhat of an emotional impact on some people as they see the types of sacrifices people are willing to make to promote peace. This is just a very, very cool thing, and I wanted to share it with you today. I think that's number one. That's the number one story we have for today. Now let's move on to the next story, which is also equally as awesome, but this one has to do with saving someone's life. Now imagine saving someone's life. I've actually personally saved people's lives before because I was a lifeguard. One time an older gentleman fell down in the lazy river at the water park that I worked at, and he looked like he was giving up. He didn't seem like he could stand back up because the water was moving so quickly. He must have been in his 70s or 80s. He didn't have enough muscular strength to get his legs underneath him and stand back up. So I saw him go underwater, and then he was floating underneath the water, and it looked like he had given up on trying to get back up. After trying a few times, he was just floating. He looked at me. I jumped in, picked him up right away, saved him. And it was an impactful moment in my life that I'll always remember. And another time, I was in a supermarket, and no, not a supermarket. I was actually at a Sears. I don't know if you've ever been to a Sears before. A lot of hardware appliances, and basically they have everything there. It's just a big giant department store. But we were going to the second level, so I'm on the escalator going up, and this older woman in front of me fell backwards on the escalator and started tumbling down the escalator that was going upwards. And that was terrifying because I'm just thinking like, what happens? You just fall forever? Like if you're falling backwards and the escalator's going up, you just continue falling and falling and falling and falling, right? And so anyway, I was behind her. So as soon as she fell, I ran up the escalator a little bit quicker, and I picked her up and made sure she was okay and made sure she was safe. And luckily she was. So I don't know if I saved her life, but I at least saved her from some more injuries or trauma from falling down the escalator. But that was insane. But this one, imagine saving someone, right? But now imagine you're 8 years old and you save someone's life. That's what happened in this next story. So these two kids here, their brother and sister, they spring into action to help save their school bus driver from a medical emergency. Now, this article does not go into what the medical emergency was. All they know is the bus driver began to suffer a medical event, and a brother and a sister took action to save her life. First of all, the 8-year-old sister was closest to the bus driver. So she said, she asked the bus driver, "Are you all right?" And the bus driver said no. They shook their head no. So the sister, the little girl, 8 years old, runs back to the back of the bus where her 7th grade brother Charlie is, and tells him what's going on. The bus driver's not okay. We need help up there. Charlie runs to the front, grabs the radio, and radios to whatever, the bus compounder, whatever the radio leads to, and gets help for the bus driver. They come meet the bus driver and get him off the bus, take him to the hospital, and the bus driver was okay, all because of an 8-year-old and a 7th grader. So my kids are this age. I have an 8-year-old, well, he's about to be 9, but an 8-year-old son and a 12-year-old daughter who's in 7th grade. So I just imagine them going through this and how insane and traumatic and crazy of an experience that would be for a child to have to go through. But it seems like the 7th grade boy held his cool. He stayed calm, and he acted out of pure just wanting to help. He said, "When I realized that something was going on, I went up there and grabbed the radio and then called the school because I knew that was the quickest way to get help." And the little girl, Katrina, the 8-year-old, said, "My brother, in the inside, when something's going wrong, he's scared, but on the outside, he's like calm and concentrated." And that's exactly right, Katrina. He must have been. He must have been able to calm his nerves and take the action required. And luckily, it saved a life. I thought this was a really inspirational and amazing story. Young people and kids get a lot of flack these days for, I don't know why. Just people are like, yeah, they're, the younger generations are always thought of as less than and less than and less than. But in this case, they actually saved someone's life. And so, really cool stuff. I love it. I wanted to share that with you today, give you some inspiration that even when things feel really bad, somebody can come to the rescue. Somebody can help you. Even a child can step up and save your life. So, awesome story. Really, really cool stuff. Next, let's talk about some New Year resolutions that reconnect us. I like this article. I think it's helpful. I think it's really cool because of this first line right here. In an increasingly disconnected world. Think about that for a second. An increasingly disconnected world. There's more loneliness than ever before. There's more people attached to their screens more often. There's more people living in their silos on social media and not interacting with the real world, connecting with real people. But these 7 resolutions work to fight against that and work towards everyday connection with real people. So here's a few things that we can do. If you're looking for a New Year resolution, or you're looking for more connection, more social life, a better social life, more friends, here's a few ideas. So first, delve into your local or family history. That's a cool thing. Have you ever wondered about the origins of a local place name, building, or monument, or paused to think about the lives that shaped your community? Local history is an excellent way to connect. It enables a connection to the past through the world around us by learning around the place in which we live or another place with meaning to us. And tracing your own ancestry can be equally rewarding. Family history is about understanding our ancestors and the world in which they live, and this can help us connect to our family more and understand our upbringing and understand our where we came from. I've personally done this. I've done the ancestor stuff and figured out like where my family came from. Turns out mostly they're from the UK, Ireland, it's a little bit of Germany, that area of the world. So interesting. I'm mostly just like European. I think a lot of people are, but it is interesting, and it did allow me to connect closer with my siblings because I was able to tell them all of this stuff, and we discussed what that meant and what that looked like. And then, my family started going to Ireland to experience what that was like, and a lot of good connected moments happened because of that, just deciding to delve into our family and our history. Number 2, make the commute a mindfulness ritual. That's a pretty good idea. Journeys between home and work offer a daily chance to reconnect with your thoughts, your feelings, and your surroundings. Instead of constantly being connected to a phone or to a screen, we can be more connected to ourselves. by using our commute in a healthy, positive way, and by maybe leaning into some type of breath work or meditation practice. Obviously, you can't close your eyes if you're driving, but you can, kind of let go of things and get calm and calm your nervous system as much as possible while operating a motor vehicle. It's an interesting idea, worth thinking about, worth trying yourself. Volunteer your time. I love this one. This allows you to meet other people. It allows you to give back. It allows you to serve your community. I absolutely love that. I'm all for it. Write letters. I love this as well. I've got plans to write a lot of letters this year because I think that there's something about it. We're all used to emails and text messages and all that stuff, but the regular old written letter has been lost in the sauce somewhere. People are not thinking about this as much, but getting yourself to write that letter or even receiving a letter feels really good. There's something about having that actual physical paper in your hand and the person actually took the time to write it out by hand. It's not typed. There's something really, really cool about that, and it's very, very meaningful to the right people, right? Sometimes just a simple letter can change this direction of someone's life. I've heard stories of people receiving letters from like parents that they haven't seen in a long time, or family members, or even just old friends that they haven't seen, and it means the world to people. It really does bring for more connection and more, it's nostalgic. There's some really good feeling about a nice handwritten letter, in my opinion. And I wonder if you agree. Put it in the comments. Again, I'll get to all the comments at the end of the video. Next, seek connections across age groups. A lot of people these days are very ageist. They don't want to hang out with people that are older than themselves. They don't want to talk to people that are younger than themselves either. And we all tend to prefer our own generation, right? We all prefer our own generation. So millennials will hang out with millennials, Gen X hangs out with Gen X, Gen Z hangs out with Gen Z. I don't know all the generation names, but I'm just winging this. But you get the point. If you can start to cross that boundary a little bit, be okay hanging out with someone older than yourself or younger than yourself. I think that strengthens the social fabric of the world, and it can go a long way. And it's not that hard to do. There's community centers, libraries, there's local volunteer events, and there's even going to an a nursing home. If you can go to a nursing home and spend time with people that don't get that many visitors, don't get that much time spent with them, and connect with those people and make them feel seen, heard, and important as they're getting into their later years of life. I think that's so powerful and cool. I think more people should consider it, especially in the new year. Eat with others. That's a great one as well. I think one of the best parts about life is eating with your friends and family, and having good food and good conversation is underrated. It's one of the best things that we can do. It's just sit at a table with all our friends and enjoy a good meal and talk to each other and discuss life itself, challenges, the world, and just connect over some good food. Try this. No, you try this. Oh, it's just it's amazing. So finally, join your town or parish council. That's an interesting idea. I've never thought about that before. Collectively, they work more than 14 blah, blah, blah. So yeah, that's a cool idea too. I mean, you can give back to your community by joining the council and by being part of the town that you're in, and volunteering to help out and serve individuals. I think that's really cool. So those are the 3 positive news stories that I had for today. The last one's not really a news story as much as it is some really cool resolutions that we could work towards for reconnecting not only with others but with ourselves in this increasingly digital world where people seem to be further and further apart all the time. I think it's kind of sad when you think about it deeply, and there's parts of the old world that I miss a lot. I miss, being able to go outside and just see your friends, or have people come over and knock on your door, even though they weren't invited. These types of things, there's nothing there to replace them now that they're gone. we're all just kind of stuck into the digital world and our screens, and it is what it is, but it's not really serving us as humans. We are social creatures. We desire that connection, that belonging, that feeling of connecting with another person. And so if the less of that we get, it is showing up in the data, like the rates of suicide, the rates of depression, the rates of anxiety, all of that stuff is higher than ever before. And I think this plays a key part in that thing. I'm not saying this is the only part. I'm saying it plays a key part, and it's worth thinking about and talking about, in my opinion. Now, let's move into today's daily law from Robert Greene's Daily Laws. I love this book, and before I was doing this a little bit in December, but December is a little bit of a weird chapter in this book because it's it's about the subliminal. It's about the basically the universe and the world beyond our Earth. And so that's very ethereal. It's difficult to kind of come to terms with. It's kind of difficult to think of and to work towards or to take action towards. And so I think it's going to be really, really cool to start at the very first day of the year in this book with you, so that we can both kind of just reflect on these ideas from the very first of the year. I think it's going to be more like down to earth and more action based, and I think it'll be really helpful for a lot of people. So I'm not going to read the intro section for January. I'm just going to go right to January 1st. All right, January 1st. It says, discover your calling. Everyone holds his fortune in his own hands, like a sculptor, the raw material he will fashion into a figure. But it's the same with that type of artistic activity as with all others. We are merely born with the capability to do it. The skill to mold the material into what we want must be learned and attentively cultivated. That was a quote by Johann Wolfgang von Goethe. Interesting quote. Let's move on. You possess a kind of inner force that seeks to guide you towards your life's task, what you are meant to accomplish in the time that you have to live. In childhood, this force was clear to you. It directed you towards activities and subjects that fit your natural inclinations, that sparked a curiosity that was deep and primal. In the intervening years, the force tends to fade in and out as you listen more to your parents and peers, to the daily anxieties that wear away at you. This can be the source of your unhappiness, your lack of connection to who you are and what makes you unique. The first move toward mastery is always inward, learning who you really are and reconnecting with that innate force. Knowing it with clarity, you will find your way to the proper career path, and everything else will fall into place. It is never too late to start this process. Daily law: mastery is a process, and discovering your calling is the starting point. Okay, discover your calling. That's very interesting. And so just to discuss a little bit about this book, it's called The 366 Meditations on Power, Seduction, Mastery, Strategy, and Human Nature. It is a very self-improvement style book, but there's one daily law per day for an entire year to just reflect on, think about, meditate on, and try to pull some wisdom from. And so for me, let's talk about this. Discovering your calling. So to me, when I think back to early childhood, I was obsessed with running, with playing soccer, with snowboarding. Once I was a little bit older, like 8 years old, I started snowboarding. So like action sports and having that adrenaline rush. I was always into that. I loved that stuff. Then as I got older, I got really into making videos, to be completely honest. I started making YouTube videos and stuff probably when I was like 18. And I loved it. Like I used to, before that actually, when I was like 15 or something, I used to make videos of my friends skateboarding. I used to have like this handheld camcorder. It wasn't with a phone. It was with like, an actual video camera. And I would follow my friend around who's very good at skateboarding, and I would take videos of him. And it was so much fun for me just to try and capture that perfect angle, that perfect shot, while he did all the hard stuff of, skating and doing like whatever tricks and stuff. But I think a lot, if you combine all of those things, the adrenaline, the videos, the idea of, I always also loved just connecting with my friends. I used to I'm sure a lot of people can relate to this, but I used to just come home from school and immediately call my friends and try to hang out with them like as soon as possible. And then I would come home for dinner, and then I would try to hang out with them again a lot of times. So like I was always out. I was almost never home. I like to explore. I like to look for new things. I like to take videos. I like to do things like that. And these days, I have a lot less of that in my life. I have a lot less adrenaline. I have a lot less, exploring. I have a lot less, hanging out with friends all the time. I spend a lot more time alone. I do still make videos, obviously, but it's a lot more of me talking to an audience of people who I connect with through this, instead of, taking that beautiful shot or being involved in action sports or being involved in something that gets the adrenaline pumping, which I could definitely use more of in my life. But when it comes to discovering my calling, once I had Lyme disease in 2016, it kind of changed everything for me, because I had to focus on my health for such a long time that it became part of my identity to be a healthy individual. And then I decided I have to film this. I have to start recording, right? Back to my calling, back to what I was good at, back to what I like to do. And so I started filming videos about 9 years ago, and you could see all of them on this YouTube channel. I started recording videos about how I was dealing with Lyme disease, what herbs I was using, what binders I was using to remove dead microbe die-off, what I was doing to support detoxification, what foods I was eating, what foods I was not eating, and all of the ins and outs of Lyme disease. I started that 9 years ago. And then over time I thought, I can help people more. I can give back more. And so I started a company, and that gives me a lot of the rush and the adrenaline, believe it or not, of action sports. It's kind of similar in some ways, because you're jumping with no parachute. There's no one to catch you. You're just trying your best to serve people every single day. You're just trying your best to stand out every single day and help people and be noticed. And there's no safety net. There's nothing that's going to save me if it doesn't go well. There's nothing that's going to stop this from going terribly wrong if it doesn't work. So all I can do is show up and try my best, and hopefully everything else works out. And that's very similar to the action sports idea, the adrenaline, the I don't know, that secret sauce of life, like that energy that's inescapable, that we all have somewhere deep down inside of us. I've unlocked it through starting a company and having employees that I have to take care of, having customers that I take care of every day, building a business with different products and services and all of the stuff required to do that. It's been amazing so far. I love it. It's a part of me now, and I love the ability to serve other people and help people with the stuff that I do. And on top of that, I get to make my videos. I get to be creative and create new things and try things and be a little bit out there. And I don't know, I feel like I'm doing my calling already, is what I'm getting at. And I hope that you also feel similar. And if you don't, maybe you can do something to move in that direction. Now, that doesn't mean you have to go quit your job or stop doing everything else you're doing. It simply means maybe start doing a hobby. Start doing something you loved to do as a kid. Start allowing yourself to do the things that you once loved. And I think that will ignite a lot of the passion inside of yourself again, and you can start to have that spark of life again. And I just think that was a really cool passage there. So discovering your calling, I think it's really cool. I think it's a continual process. I don't think it's like I found mine and that's it. That's going to be it forever. No, I think it changes over time. I don't think I will be, only creating limewars.com for the rest of my life, although I will do it for as long as I possibly can, as long as it continues to work and I continue to help people and I'm here actually giving value to the world and I feel like it's giving value to the world, then I will continue it. But what I'm saying is we grow and evolve, right? We change over time. And one day I might find something else that sparks that for me, some other way that I could be even more valuable to the world. And I'm willing to accept that and change and move in that direction as well. So really fascinating, interesting stuff. Let me know what you think about it. And I'm going to try right now to pull up some comments, see if there was any. And we'll see how that goes. We'll see if anybody posted any comments before I log off here, because we are coming to the end of today's live video. Let's see. All right, I got it up, and let's see. We'll see. There's no comments yet, so that's completely fine. But I do want to interact with you. I want to connect with you. I want to post any comments before I log off here. Reach more people, and because we are coming to the end, I want to understand you and be there for you. And so I always love when people post in the chat or the comments. I got it up. And so if you would, if you're watching the replay of this, I would greatly appreciate it. So that's completely fine. I'm going to go now, but I do want to interact with you. I want to connect today. I'll be live tomorrow before I log off here. I go live every Monday through Friday at 12 p.m. If it's 12 p.m. And so you can bet. I always love when people post in the chat or the comments. I got it up. And so if you would, if you're watching the replay of this, I would greatly appreciate it. So that's sorry about that. I think you were hearing the actual live video like play in the background of me talking. So it's like you probably heard an echo or like me and then me again. Sorry about that. That should be fixed now. But I do want to say I'm with you. I'm here for you. And Happy New Year. It's 2026. Woo! All right.